Good day, human Ladiocytes. This is Latios Azurill. A little while back, I tried a little experiment where I was reviewing a certain Pokemon GBA ROM hack, where throughout the entire review, I noticed there were so many flaws in the game that it seemed to make sense to just riff on it rather than listing both positive and negative aspects. I also exhibited strong feelings about the game. In fact, they were feelings stronger than I really had toward the game. A large consequence of that experiment was a lot of hate from viewers. Thus, I felt it was necessary to give this game the true review that it deserves, accompanied by my real thoughts on it. Please note, though, that there will be spoilers and whatnot. However, if you've ever played Emerald, then you already know the story. In this game, named after the two games set in the Kalos region thus far, you play in the Hoenn region. The first two towns are renamed and slightly redesigned, but I feel like this particular redesigning process would be possible in Advanced Map within half an hour. The towns are also renamed, making Little Root Town into Vanillville Town, and Oldale Town into Lumiose Town. Lumiose Town? That's not even really a thing. The Overworld Sprites are clearly flawed since when making the sprites, particularly the boy protagonist, they changed the palette and design of the sprite in every direction except they didn't touch the sprite when running, making the player look all glitchy when running. My personal recommendation, if this gets on your nerves, is to play as the girl character since they left that sprite completely alone. Non-playable characters walk over obstacles that you can clearly see and not walk over, while the playable character cannot walk through certain glitch spots where he or she should be able to walk, especially around the beach in Moss Deep City. The sad thing is that this would have been easily fixable for the makers within 15 minutes in Advanced Map, to just turn some of the ones into C's under movement permissions. As for the surfing sprite, I just don't get it. Why does it look like your head gets severed when facing down while surfing? Even though a lot of the sprites are all distorted and off-color, as many viewers have pointed out, it shows initiative. However, I have trouble crediting the makers too much on effort since the big changes to the game itself stop after the former Oldale Town. I still don't see the point of calling it Lumiose Town though, since quite frankly, nothing happens there. That said, why is there a Latios there? Heck, why is there what is probably a Xerneas in Vanillville Town? I simply don't get it. At least they included trainer customization since in this game, you can in fact wear a tree. On the other hand, I don't get why the makers left cut trees the player can walk around in the overworld. The main feature that this game has over many other GBA ROM hacks is the inclusion of many 6th generation Pokemon. And admittedly, the sprites for first stages of the Kalos starters are done very well. There are plenty of other Pokemon from Kalos in the game. Some look very good, some simply don't. It would have been nice if the creators adjusted a bunch of the icons that they failed to change to, well, match the Pokemon and even some of the Emerald sprite animations so it wouldn't look so awkward. While there are many errors, or perhaps pure negligence, among the creation of these sprites, I still have to give the game credit for making them. Even though there are other GBA ROM hacks that have also done this, perhaps even better, such as Glaze and Resolute, which I definitely recommend checking out. The contest hall exterior was redesigned, though unfortunately not for the better. However, something that really gets on my nerves is the Pokemon Gems. The creators decided to make it more difficult by changing the gym leaders, making them experts of different types, and making them stronger. I am perfectly fine with this. However, like with the towns that were changed in the beginning, the signs are not changed. The gym sign says, for instance, in Rustboro City, the gym leader is Roxanne, the rock-loving honor student, when the actual gym leader, who looks like Roxanne and says she is Roxanne, is a poison-type gym leader named Mininoka. I don't get it. Also, some of the NPCs, including the guy who is supposed to be in the sand in front of the hot springs, will sit on top of you. Great, let's get harassed by NPCs. Flying logically takes you a tile off from the Pokemon Center. I just can't figure out why. It seems the creators liked editing the palettes in the game, since even the sky pillars changed to having a red sky. Since there is never a dusk, I guess we're free to assume that the sky or something in it must be bleeding, since I can't think of any other reason for a red sky midday. Perhaps it's just Arceus' will. In the end, while I feel that it would be a disservice to you for me to call this a particularly good game, I do want to give it some credit. It tried some things that other games haven't quite done to that level. Although many of these things are arguably not very helpful to the game as a whole, it doesn't change the goals set forth from such changes. Plus, I really have trouble hating a lot on a game where I was lucky enough to find a shiny Swablu by chance. However, the thing that really saddens me, though, is that this game could have been great if the makers left the overworld sprites and palettes alone. Plus, if they either finished turning Hoenn into a semi-Kalos, as they started in the first two towns, or if they did not change the first two towns in the first place, the game would have made a lot more sense. What it comes down to is that the game tried to change too much, in fact, probably more than it could handle, leading to a few great things and a jumbled mess of half-finished things that were relatively less than good. If any of you guys watching are considering making a ROM hack of your own, my advice from this would be to finish what you start. If you're going to change the Pokemon and its sprite, also change the icons and animations. If you're going to change the overworld sprites and palettes, finish it so it doesn't look sloppy. If you're going to change the layout and name of the towns to fit a different region, be consistent throughout the whole game and signage, not just the first two towns before quitting. In the end, given the operating system parameters, the only person putting a limit on what you can accomplish in making the game is you. I'm Latios Azubral, and I review it so you don't go through shit. Goodbye.